An idea came to me while browsing through a catalog called The Civilization of Luris, a faux civilization created by Norman Daly, a professor of art at Cornell in 1971. I thought to myself, how about creating an era, an epoch of an ancient civilization, say 6,000 years ago, sited on the farmland where I've lived for 39 years. I found a lot of metal tools and engine parts, leather, tires, farm machinery, wagon wheels, bottles that were left behind by farmers and settlers as far back as the Revolutionary War. And before them, the Aboriginals left their flints. To my eyes, these finds were artifacts of a gone era, an epoch I named the ambigucene. And thus arose the dawn of the ambigucene, fitting neatly between the Mystocene and the obsolene. I thought about ancient peoples. What did they do? What did they wear? Who or what did they worship? What kind of ceremonies did they celebrate? Were they peaceful or violent? In short, I created a mythology of Knauer Midden Maiden and Knauer Midden Man. Now, Knauer is a familiar name in these parts. My town bears that name. Anyway, I had been collecting this stuff for 35 years, playing with it, rearranging into shapes and objects, displaying on walls of my cabin and such. Then this show came along, and I decided to weld and actually make objects. I didn't know what I was going to make, just had to experiment, play around, and arrange the material until my friend Jeff Tversky came up from Wilmington and welded the assembled objects. I had previously carved a bunch of masks, kind of totem figures, and some animal figures. I had painted a few strange-looking birds. I made clay wall fragments, a dragon, and other small funereal objects. I added a couple of pieces made by artist friends that fit the concept, and my wife Kristen created Knauer Midden Maiden. Lastly, I wrote the show from the perspective of Melville Herman, the chief archaeologist at the various dig sites, and added distinguished academics' commentaries on poster board, and called the barn where I held the show the Barnseum. A neighbor, Jay Pollard, wrote a song about it.